So one morning I wake up and I find a notification on PayPal from him saying I have money. And it's like a huge amount of money. I was like, by the way, it's going down.
Hello my good people, thank you so much for tuning into this channel, and today I have an amazing story for you. I have with me Marion, who is the queen of budget travel, going by the name Adventures of Mari. She traveled in Zanzibar with a budget of only 38,000 Kenya shillings to cater for food, accommodation and all other activities. So it's a beautiful one. I know you will enjoy watching this video, and at the same time she has a beautiful love story. She met her husband in a dating site, and within 1 month he had come from the US to visit her, and I tell you, that story is just interesting. You can't afford to miss any bit of this. So welcome, come along with me, and at this time let me allow her to introduce herself. Welcome so much, Marion.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So can you tell our people who you are?
I said my name is Marion Vega, and I'm a content creator by the name The Adventures of Mari. I'm the queen of budget travel. Aside from that, I'm a wife to one amazing man called Jacob Vega, and I'm also a mom to an adorable baby boy called Michael. Yeah, and I'm Kenyan, born and bred in the beautiful town of Watamu. It's in the coastal side, and yes, I love life.
Now let's get to the dating and the love story, because I know most people are like, what did you say about this love story and all that? Can you now take us back?
I think like most people, I was just after high school.
Yes.
And that's when, I started meeting boys and, all that.
Yes.
And, at that time I would give them airtime because, growing up in a family setup, most of our parents, they're very African, and very strict. So you're told, don't interact with boys, don't talk to boys,
Yes.
So I remember immediately after high school, that's when I started interacting with boys and men, and, I started the journey of dating. Of course, it didn't work out with, most of them.
Yes.
And I remember in 2019, I gave it my last try with a Kenyan, one guy here in Kenya. And we went on a date. And that till to date is actually my you hear when they ask you which is your worst date. That was my worst date till to date.
Wow.
So we arranged to go on a date, and when we got there, you're expecting to have a good time, and the date was just horrible. This guy would just talk about, me, I've been to Dubai, I've done ABCD, where have you gone to, so it's like questions, whatever he's asking you is more of trying to show you, by the way, you've not done anything,
Yeah.
So that didn't really sit well with me, and I was really, really frustrated because at that time, I'd gotten to the point where I was dating for marriage. I wasn't just dating for fun.
Okay.
So at this point, even giving this guy a chance to go on a date with him, I'm already visualizing or picturing him as my husband and the father of my children. So for him to come and have this kind of character, it didn't sit so well with me.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short, we ended the day. I left, the date, and I remember I went, I took a matatu home, and in a matatu, in Nairobi, they have the matatus are well pimped, and you have the lights, but it's very dim, it's very dark. So I remember just sitting, in that matatu, and I started crying.
In a matatu?
Yes. So I'm crying, it's in a matatu, it's dark, and even the person sitting next to me cannot really see that I'm crying because the lighting, the lightings of matatu, in Nairobi.
Yes.
So I'm really crying, like it was that bad. Because now I'm getting to a point of I want, to get married, I want to settle down. Then here I've gone on a date and it's just terrible.
What?
I'm like, why should it be this hard to
Why
date?
should it be? Why? Why me?
Yes, why should it be this hard to date? So I cried. Anyway, I got home and I remember I was still in a, that sad state. And I took a shower, and from there, before I went to bed, I remember just going down on my knees and just praying. And I told God, I've been trying to do this dating thing on my own.
Yes.
I don't remember a single time where I've involved God and I've told him, by the way, I want this and this. I had not done that prior to this day.
Okay.
So I remember that day just going down on my knees and I told God, I know I've been trying to do this dating thing on my own, and it has not worked until now.
Yes.
And you know that my desire is to get married. I want to start a family. I'm already at that point where I feel like now I want to,
I'm ready, yeah.
So come and help me do this thing.
Wow.
And I remember just saying amen. And just before I slept, something told me, Ebu now get on a dating site.
Immediately after praying?
Yes, immediately after praying. So I remember something just telling me, Ebu you get a dating site and you become serious.
Okay.
So prior to that day, I had heard about dating sites. I'd seen what dating sites had done to someone or for someone.
Yes.
A friend of mine had introduced me to the dating site world in campus. We went to school together with her.
Yes.
And I have seen her. She met someone there. She got married. And they now live in the UK.
Wow.
The man is from there. So I've seen what dating site has done for someone. And there's also another relative of mine who had also mentioned dating site. But all this time I was not serious about it, because even back in campus, my friend actually downloaded I think it was called Afro Introduction. She actually downloaded Afro Introduction for me, and she created everything for me. But the swiping and all that, I wasn't serious. So now, after praying, something has told me, hey, download the dating site and be serious.
Okay.
So I download the dating site. Of course, you have to go because there are so many, especially right now, there are so many. So I went online, looked for dating sites, and I'm just looking there. And there was one that really caught my attention. I was like, okay, this looks interesting.
Okay.
I was like, let me try it. It was called OkCupid. OkCupid. So I clicked there, create my profile, I put some pictures, I write what I'm looking for. Very honest there. I was very, very honest.
Yeah, now before that, had you ever tried doing another dating site before then, and maybe it frustrated you or something?
Yeah, I had tried now the one my friend opened for me, yeah. So it was Afro Introduction.
Yeah.
So I'd done Afro Introduction. When she created that profile for me, what I didn't like about Afro Introduction is you can't really see who has texted you unless one of you has paid the premium package, or one of you has paid. So if you're using the free version, both of you, then you'll be able to see messages. But that was not the case with OkCupid. With OkCupid, you can actually be able to see the messages. The only thing is, if you've not paid, then you have a limited access to it, in terms of even the likes, the number of likes you get, the things you can do on it, but you can see messages. So if maybe someone sends you a message, you'll be able to read it. So that's why I think I didn't really follow up with Afro Introduction, because then I'm not able to see messages, And then, of course, I tried Tinder. I think most people have tried Tinder. Tinder is not so good. It has at least didn't work for me. So that one I also gave up, on it. But OkCupid, you see, now this is sort of like an instruction.
An instruction
after praying. So I really stuck to it. And at that time when I'm getting to download this dating site, and this is what I keep telling people, if you meet someone on a dating site and it's someone who is seriously looking for a relationship, they're the best people.
Wow.
They're the best people. You know why? Because this person has tried all other means and it's not working, and they're very intentional in going on this dating site. So I always tell them, if you meet, because dating site has so many crazy people, but if you meet someone who is seriously there to look for someone, they're actually the best people you would ever have. As partners.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. So
you have
I create the profile, and I remember after creating the profile, I didn't do much. I slept. So of course the next morning I woke up. Now with dating sites, there's work. You have to swipe right and swipe left. So swiping right is mostly, if you've liked a profile.
Yes.
So liking a profile is just looking at the photo that they have. Some don't have photos. Some will put a photo of a cat. Some will put photos of, So I always tell someone, if you're serious, just have a picture of you there.
Yeah, sure.
There's no need to just keep people, guessing who are you and
Guessing,
what do you look like. So that's all I did. So I swiped right, swiped left, swiped right, swiped left. I met a lot of people. I joined the site in 2019, April. 2019 April. That's when I joined. So I swiped, met quite a number of people. Dating site has all the crazy people.
Oh yeah.
Dating site has all the spectrum, crazy and good, So I remember I was catfished. Maybe for purposes of someone who is maybe new, catfish is when someone pretends to be who they're not.
Yeah.
So sometimes you find it's you, Lynn, but you take a picture of Rihanna and you post there and you're pretending to be Rihanna.
Oh yeah.
And you're not Rihanna, or vice versa. Maybe you're pretending to be a doctor and you're not a doctor,
Yeah.
So that's catfishing. So I met 2 of those, I remember, and actually 2 of them, I remember it was serious. They catfished me, and they made me believe they've gotten a job in Kenya. So usually they pick the big companies.
Yes.
So they will tell you, I've gotten a job with so and so company. So they choose the multinationals here in Kenya.
Okay.
And I'm relocating from my country to there to work. So now I'll be closer to you. We can start dating.
Yes.
So the first time I got that kind of profile, I was excited. I was like, I've arrived. I've arrived. This guy is working for this company,
Yeah.
and he's coming now. We don't have to worry about long distance.
Yeah.
And 1 month when they're supposed to come, that month they're supposed to come, they ghost you.
What?
No communication, no nothing.
Too bad, eh?
So you're going back to the emails that this person had sent you, because most catfish don't give you WhatsApp numbers. They don't give you Facebook. They don't give you somewhere you can access them. They only give you email or Skype. Back then Skype was a thing. Okay. Now I'm seeing it's slowly dying. Yeah, so two instances I was catfished, but I didn't give up. Other instances I met people who just wanted short term things.
Yes.
Short term by someone just wants a casual.
Oh yeah, sure.
But that's not what I was looking for, and I was very categorical even when I was creating my profile. I'm looking for a long-term thing. I want someone for marriage.
Yes.
I want a Christian. I want someone who's ready to be a parent, someone who is ready to be a dad. Of course, I want a straight man, a man, because you know what's happening right now, women are marrying women and vice versa. So I remember now in 2019 August. That's when now I met my husband.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Tell us now. You swipe right, left,
So I swiped right, of course.
Yes.
So right is when you like the profile. So left is when you don't. So if you swipe left, that profile most likely to come up again on your feed.
Okay. Yeah.
So of course I see my husband's profile and I swipe right.
Yes.
He looked very handsome on the
Wow.
photo, So I swiped right, and then I went ahead to just read his profile. I looked at what he had written, and I found him to be his profile was really, someone who puts himself really out there. My husband is very honest.
Oh, wow.
And I could pick that even from his profile. Like, he was very, very honest on the things that he's written.
Yes.
And it's the nitty-gritties, the small things.
Yes.
So that really stood out for me. And I remember, I think I'm the one who swiped up right first, and then later he swiped right. And I think the next day, I can't remember the timelines, but I get a message on the app now.
Yes.
And I remember that message came now from this profile that I've seen, I've liked.
Yes.
And it says, you're short like me. So that's the pickup line.
Wow.
It's called pickup lines. So that's his pickup line to me. And I'm like, okay. So I dismiss him, I didn't respond to that. And I just went ahead, to swipe right and left. I think 2 hours later, he texted again. And he's like, I'm actually going in for work and I might be busy and I'm not able to access my phone. So in case you text and I don't respond, just know I'm busy. But once I'm out, I'll be able to respond to your messages. So I was like, hey, this is interesting. You know how some of our African brothers, they don't like to be asked where they are, what they're doing, you know. So that really caught my attention. I was like, hey, this guy, he's far away. I'm a total stranger, but he's taking the time to let me know how his schedule will look like and all that. Yes.
Yeah.
So me, I responded and I told him, no problem. What we can do, we can talk when you're free. And we finished that.
Yeah.
So that was in August the 16th, 2019.
Okay.
So I can't remember how the conversation went. I think we now went ahead to, no, I remember. I think after like three days of us meeting, so you see now we're speaking, all the messages are on the app.
Yes.
On this dating site.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't have the messages on email or WhatsApp, you know, they're on this dating site.
Yes.
It has a provision for messages. So I would realize, because he was in the US, he's in the US, we have a 7 to 8 hours time difference.
Okay.
So when it's day here, it's night over there for him, and vice versa. So it was really hard for us to communicate on that side. So I took my number and I sent it to him on the site, and I told him, this is my WhatsApp number. I've realized we're really struggling. When I'm on the site, you're not, and vice versa. I feel like you're more on WhatsApp than you're on the dating site, you know. So I sent him my number. So when I sent him my number, he responds and he says, I don't have WhatsApp, but I will download. Hey! So me, that really caught me. I was like, how don't you have WhatsApp? So I thought he was actually catfishing me, or I thought he was lying. Because in my head at that time, I thought WhatsApp is everywhere. You know, I thought WhatsApp is everywhere. So, but I was like, since you've put in the extra mile, you download it, that's good enough.
Okay, yeah.
That's enough. So he downloads WhatsApp and we start chatting.
Wow.
Yeah. So we start talking. That's when he tells me now. That's when he told me that most people in the US don't use WhatsApp.
Okay.
They actually use Facebook and Facebook Messenger and FaceTime.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, okay. So we talk. Of course, now you get to know each other. You know, favorite color, favorite food, what do you like to do, and all that. You know, the questions that you ask someone when you're dating.
Sure, exactly.
You know, but I remember we had really, we got to talk about very serious things. You know, within that short period of time, we had asked each other, you know, are you ready for marriage? Do you want kids? How many kids do you want? In case, you know, this relationship is to work, are you willing to relocate from your country to the other person's country, or you're stuck in your country? You know, we really got deep. And of course, getting to know each other, you also get to know your birthdays, each other's birthdays. So that was in August as we were talking, and I remember, I think it was end of that week. Already he now knows my birthday and all. So he's like, actually, you said your birthday is coming up next month, now September.
Yes.
And I think I can actually come down to Kenya.
Wow.
So that, you know, we celebrate your birthday as I get to now officially meet you.
Wow. Hey,
yeah.
That was so okay.
Yeah. But for me, I wasn't really excited at that time. Because remember, already I have a history of being catfished by two guys who said they're coming in, they never showed
up. So you are not sure, like...
in fact, I dismissed him. At that time, well, I still went ahead to still talk to him, but in my head I dismissed the idea that he's coming. Because I didn't want to get excited and then it doesn't happen like the two previously before him. Yeah, so I was like, okay, sawa, me, I'm here. Just let me know. So we continue talking. Of course, now the relationship is getting serious. You know, we're talking now every day. I have to create time to talk to him. He has to create time to talk to me. You know, we are now, you know, we've even migrated. We've now even upgraded now. You know, I'm no longer just Marion now. I'm Babe. You know, all those pet names. You know.
You did finally he lands in Kenya. What was your first reaction after seeing him?
Well, I remember the first thing that came to my mind when I saw him, you know, now bouncing, coming to, you know, hug me. I was like, oh, you remember his first line, you know, you're short like me. That's when I was like, oh, by the way, you're really short. So all this time when we were talking, that was, it didn't come up, you know? You know, when you're getting to know someone and you really don't have them in person, it's a different thing. So now when I'm seeing you, I'm like, oh wow, but there you are. You're really short. Now I understand why that was the pickup line. Yeah.
Okay. Were you like, Sasa, this is a stranger, you've never met them, and yes.
Well, yes, I would say 90% there was no fear, but 10% that fear was there.
Okay.
So 90% it was there, but 10%, I mean 90% it wasn't there, 10% it was. Yeah, because remember this guy, we had spoken. So it's like I know him. It's just the physical bits that I've not met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that getting to talk to him this 1 month before he lands,
yes,
it made me feel very confident that I know this person.
Wow.
It's just now they're putting the face and the body to what it is we were talking.
Wow.
About.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and now what was his reaction? Maybe because this is the first time being in Kenya, and now maybe you had those travels to do and all that.
He loved it. He loved it. He actually enjoyed Kenya. Now he's a big fan. Actually, he's not the Kenyan. I'm the Kenyan, but he's the one with the Kenyan band on his hand. He loves Kenya. He was welcomed very well because I remember that week when we went down to the coast. I come from Watamu.
Yes.
I'd already asked him if he'd want to meet my people, my mom and my sister, and he agreed. So we also went home and they, welcomed him very well. So he really enjoyed Kenya. For the 1 week he was here, he enjoyed Kenya.
Wow. And for your family, what did they say? Because now this is someone different color, that they're like,
well, I would say there wasn't really a huge reaction in terms of like a negative one. Everybody was happy. Everybody was welcoming. Remember also growing up in the coast, my family members, they're used to seeing Wazungus, quote unquote.
Yes.
We're used to interacting with them. So it wasn't really a big deal for them. And then aside from that, my grandma is actually married to a German guy. So they're used to having a Muzungu in their family. So really, it wasn't a big deal. So the reaction was good. They welcomed him. They actually welcomed him as a person, as a human being. And my husband is also very kind. Most of them actually said he's very kind. And he really adapted when he came. He didn't have that from America.
Okay.
Yes. So that made people he's really, really lovable.
Wow.
Yeah, when you meet him, he's a very vibrant and lovable person. So my family really was happy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't get any negative, reaction.
You came to know now this is the one, and you are ready to get married and all this. Yeah.
So I remember he went back to the US in September after my birthday. I think he really had some awesome time. I told you he really enjoyed Kenya.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to tell us if he was enjoying Kenya because I'm here or because Kenya is just a beautiful country,
Okay.
But September, October, November, December he came back. Yeah. So he was here for Christmas of 2019. We spent 10 days together, and then he had to go back. So I remember when he went back in January, he proposed.
Okay.
Yeah. So he proposed online. You see, long distance has to work. Online proposals. These days there's actually online marriages. There's actually, I think they're called Uta or what, or Ata or something.
Hey.
You do the marriage online. So you're here, the other person is on the other screen, and there's an officiator.
Wow.
This thing, the world, like on the internet.
Digital.
So
the online proposal.
So ours is funny. What he did, he works with a lady from Tanzania, and so when he went back, he was all excited. When you're in love, everybody around you will know you're in love. So he goes back and he's excited. Yeah, people are saying this person, hey, there's some new energy.
Yeah.
So of course he tells them, oh, I went to Africa, I met this girl, I did this and this. So the lady is a friend to him, and she tells him, actually, if you really like this girl and you're serious, prepare yourself to pay dowry. In Africa, we pay dowry.
Okay.
So I remember that evening when we were talking, he's like, by the way, my friend has told me if I want to, ever get married to you, I need to pay dowry. And I said, yes, in Africa we have a culture of paying dowry, and in Kenya specifically.
Yes.
So he's like, so how much is your dowry? Okay. So of course I am caught off guard, and I'm like, that's not something really I would know. That's something that maybe I ask my parents, So, he's like, well, why don't you ask them so that we know?
Sure.
So we are very close with my mom, although she's late now. So we were very, very close. So me, I was like, let me tease Made.
Yes.
Made has never seen any man. This is the first man I've brought home.
Wow.
So I was like, let me tease her and see what's gonna happen. So I of course call her when we are having just our normal chats, and I just throw it as a by the way. I'm like, but then mom, if I was to ever get married, how much is my dad? And of course Made is like, hey, those are not things I decide. As a woman in the culture of the Kikuyu, and I think it's most African countries.
Sure.
So in the culture, the men have to decide. So of course she sends me to my uncle.
Okay.
So now with uncles, you cannot beat around the bush. You have to be straight to the point.
You have to be
So I have to prepare myself. I'm like, hey, how do I start the story? But anyway, I call my uncle. We're also very close with my uncle. So I call him and I'm like, hey uncle, how are you? So I tell him, I wanted to know, I've actually met someone and they want to know how much my dowry price will be. So uncle of course starts questioning me and all that.
Yes.
And he asked me where this guy is from. I tell him he's from so and so country. Yeah, he asked, is he Mzungu? I was like, yeah, quote unquote, So uncle was like, I remember the first thing he told me is like, wow, God has heard your prayers.
Wow.
And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you've forgotten you always wanted to get married to a Mzungu.
So it is like your uncle knew you wanted to get married to a Mzungu, but yourself you didn't know.
I forgot.
You are going near to Africans.
I'm wasting time. So I asked him, I wanted to follow that chain and find out what uncle is talking about. So I asked him, what do you mean uncle? He's like, you've forgotten. I was like, so now it's when I remembered. I was like, when my uncle, most times when he would want to unwind, he would come down to my hometown, Watamu.
Yes.
So most times when he comes, he's our uncle, so we'll get excited, we'll take him to the beach, we're trying to show him around.
Yes.
So as we go to the beach, of course, you're meeting all these Wazungus, in there.
Yes.
You know how Wazungus are, right?
Yeah.
So as we are walking down the coast and just enjoying the beach, I would tell him, uncle, me one day, I'll get married to a Mzungu. Me one day, I'll get married to a Mzungu. So me, you see, I'm a girl, I'm a small girl.
Oh.
So in my head, I never thought that uncle was registering these things.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm getting to him, telling him someone wants to marry me, and he's asking where he's from. I say he's from, the US, and he says, God has heard your prayers.
Wow. Hey, can you say like sometimes we forget things we like, and we want God to answer us in a way like He knows, like things I'm finding in this story, I'm learning like all things work together for good. Why this dating Africans are not going to work for you?
Yeah.
You see, it's from the beginning it was meant to be so.
Yeah. Wow. I think so. And you see, it had gotten to a point where I had forgotten. I think sometimes life beats you so hard, and you forget your value, you forget who you are, you forget what you want. And you start looking for value in other things, you start looking for the things that really they're not meant for you.
Yeah.
And it's just because life has really maybe dealt with you the hard way. That's what I would say. Yeah. So anyway, uncle, after we talk, after he says God has heard your prayers, he tells me, no, you see, no, those are not things we discuss on the phone.
Yes.
We have to sit down and have a proper discussion.
Exactly.
So me, I went back to my fiance then, and I told him, hey, my uncle has said these things, we need to sit down and discuss. And now sitting down, this is Africa.
Yes.
You don't bring people together where there's no food. You have to cater for their transportation. You're the one who is making them gather.
Yeah, exactly.
So my husband now, the fiance, he's like, so how much do you think we'll need for all that? So I just do a rough estimate, and I tell him, and he sends me the money.
Wow.
So when he sends me the money, of course I organize. I tell uncle, now you can come. They come, we sit, we discuss, how much dowry will be. Yeah, and we finish that discussion.
Wow. Now, how did it go down now?
So after we've agreed on what dowry, he needs to pay, now I get back to my husband with the, information, and he's like, I could swing that. I can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, but of course I explained to him this is not something you do once. It takes time. You can do in batches and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I forgot that story. So that was in January, and we went out. So me, I had to now get back to Uncle and tell him my husband has actually said that's something he can do. So we sit and we wait.
Yes.
So January, fast forward to February, we're still talking. Now we are a serious couple, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend. It's awesome. It's sweet. It's amazing.
Yes.
So February, one morning I wake up and at this time he had now started sending me money.
Yes.
You know, remember he sent me money for, you know, this not even the dowry, this gathering.
Yes.
You know, he would also pay for my internet here and there. You know, so he had already started sending me money. So most times we use PayPal. So one morning I wake up and I find a notification on PayPal from him saying I have money. So when I clicked on that, the description says for dowry, and it's like a huge amount of money. I was like, by the way, it's going down. You're getting married. That's when now me, I was like, if someone is sending money for dowry, sure. This guy is serious. You know, there's no way you're sending money and you're not serious. Yeah. So I would say that's how he proposed, of course. But when it was time for the, you know, when he was now in Kenya, he came with a ring and he did that. It was just intimate me and him, you know, and you know, of course, went down on his knee and proposed. Yeah. So that was in. The wedding was supposed to be in April of 2020. Now we've crossed the year from 2019 to 2020, but of course you know what happened in 2020.
The corona.
COVID happened. So March, COVID got into Kenya. Our wedding was supposed to be in April, so we had to halt all those plans. Yeah, and I remember we were all in the dark. Most Kenyans in the world, you know, until August the 6th of 2020, I can never forget. That's when the president lifted the ban from the international travels. I don't know if you can remember. So that was 6th of August. August seems to be our lucky month. So when he lifted that, I called my husband. I told him, oh, by the way, the ban on the international planes has been lifted, so people can now come in to Kenya. So when he had that, the same day he actually booked his flight. And so he was like, now let's proceed with the wedding preparations and the plans. So we there and then decided to do our wedding in September, because September is still a special month for us. It's my birthday, and that's when now we met, you know, in person.
Your first meeting.
So we did our wedding 4th of September 2020.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
After the wedding, did you decide to all of you go to the US or maybe to settle in Kenya, or what was your plan?
Wow, this is what I say. You plan as a human being, but God has other plans. So when we were dating, we had spoken about you know, what's gonna happen is in the US and in Kenya. There's no way we can have a marriage, you know, that distant. So we had agreed that I'll be the one to relocate to go join him. So that was the plan, and there's a process that you need to do before you can move in. So let me just put it out there. I've seen most people assume that because you're married and you have a marriage certificate, you can automatically just get on a plane with a marriage certificate and go. That's not the case. You cannot just move into a country just because you're married to someone. There's a process on how you can get the legal, you know, permanent residence of that country. So that's the process that we filed. It's called the CR1. It's a marriage visa. So it's a CR1 visa, the US visa, and we started that process in December of 2020. Ideally, it should take 8 to 12 months. So we knew by December 2021 we'll be done. But we're not
now
done.
we are in 2023.
Now we're in 2023.
Not yet
done.
And what has been the problem?
So the US embassy in Nairobi keeps saying they have a backlog because of COVID. Because when COVID happened, they closed down the embassy, and you know, now they have a lot of backlog that they're working on. So we have no option but just to wait. Just to be patient.
And that patience, that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time, because you see, now also it's not just us. When we got married, God blessed us and we conceived immediately. So we have a 2-year-old baby boy. You know, so you see, now it's not just me and him. You know, we the adults, we can understand there's a process. But now where our son has gotten to, there's a baby. He doesn't know what's happening, and he needs daddy. All of us, we really desire to, grow up with the dad. But sometimes life just has its own challenges. But when you look at our kind of challenge, this is a challenge that has been created by someone, and someone has the capability to change our situation, but they just decide not to. So really, there's nothing we can do. It's just to
because it's not in your power to do that.
It's not in our power. What we were supposed to do, which is to file our documents and file all the evidences that yes, we're in a marriage, we are genuinely married. Ours is not just for the papers. We have a baby. We've paid the fees that need to be paid. So at this point, there's nothing we can do unless we decide to go the legal way and sue them. But if you sue them, it's gonna take another years. So it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. I wish you the very best. Sorry for that, and we hope that process will be quick, man. Yes.
We are also praying. Prayers is what we need. We need prayers. We need prayers a lot.
Exactly.
You see, even with everything that's happening online right now, there's so much, attack on the family. And sometimes I tend to think this is one way in which family is also being attacked. Because I can tell you for sure, we have actually a support group on WhatsApp of the people that are waiting for this process.
So they are
for the US Embassy.
There are
many.
Hey.
It's not just me. Sometimes I tell people my story and someone will be like, hey, you're cast, or someone is holding your star. You should go and pray, go to this pastor. I've been told to go to Katande. I've been told to go to who's the other one in Kilifi.
Prophet.
There's another one down there in Kilifi. This one of Mackenzie. Together with Mackenzie. No. There's a friend to Mackenzie. Is it Ezekiel? I've been told to go to Ezekiel and pray for me so I will get the nyota. But people don't understand. I'm not alone. We are a group of 500 families. All of us waiting. So we can't all be jinxed.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something for me. I feel like they're just trying to frustrate us to see those who are not serious and end up breaking maybe on the way and give up on the process. I don't know.
We don't know. But we wish you the very best.
Thank you.
And we will also pray with you. And
We're
happy when you are together as a family. It's the best thing.
Family is meant to be together. Even in the Bible, God is very clear. A man shall leave his mother and father, and a woman shall also leave the mother and father, and they will both cleave. So we are supposed to be together. And what God has joined together,
no one can
let no man put asunder.
Exactly.
So in this case, I keep saying the embassy is the one putting asunder in our marriage.
God connected you, and you all have peace. You all are happy,
because you can see God in the whole story. You can see God. So sometimes I look at my husband and I tell him, I feel like this is just our test. Every marriage has its trial. Every marriage has its trial. So I tell him, maybe this is our trial. So let's see how we're gonna embrace the trial. And then we'll triumph after it.
But once in a while, he usually, because for him at least he has the travel visa and all that, he can always come in.
For him he can come, and that's sometimes the most annoying thing. I don't know if anyone can ever do anything about it. You see, if my husband wants to travel to Kenya, he will just do the application of the visa from the comfort of his bed. He will apply, pay $70, and within 2 minutes or even like 1 day, he's received his visa on email. If you're to apply for an American visa here in Kenya, do you know what hurdles you have to go through? And then still after going all that and even paying more money, you're still denied the visa. Yes.
But it's not easy.
So it's good at least he is able to come, but it's also not good. Why can't the same be reciprocated for us Kenyans? Even us, we try and tighten our...
Because I know even you maybe would wish maybe to meet their family.
So I've not met them. We've only connected online. Thank God for the internet. So, we connect on Facebook, on Instagram. We do video calls. But it's not enough. And it's not that I don't want to meet them. I would love to meet them. My child has not met his paternal side of the family. He's not met Shosho, the dad. He's not met Luka, the dad. And it's simply because of this paper, And this boy actually is an American citizen. He has a passport. If he wants to travel today, he can go to the US and leave me. But he can't. He's a baby. He can't go anywhere without mama.
Well, we hope for the best in that. And now, before we get to adventures of Mari now, can you advise someone out there who wants maybe to get to an online dating site? Maybe they have given up on dating. What can you tell someone?
Well, try it. give it a try. It has worked for me. It has worked for so many people that I know. And, like I said, you'd meet all sort of people there. But know what you want. Just know what you want. Know what you're looking for. And stick to it. And be true to yourself. Be very, very true to yourself. Sometimes I say, people get on online dating, they're looking for love, yes. But you get there and you don't put a picture.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're there, you don't put a picture. You don't even say what you want. It's good to know what you want. And be very, very unapologetic about it. I trust you, there's someone who loves that you have, that you think, I don't want to put it out there. So I'll just tell them, do it. Get on that dating site, create that profile. And life is about taking risks. Honestly, life is about taking risks. From the minute you wake up, it's a risk already. You leave your house, it's a risk. A tree can fall from the sky and just fall on you. It's a risk. You go to your office, you sit down, it's a risk you're taking. You're actually risking that, and believing that this chair is strong enough and I won't fall down. But it can actually just crumble and fall. Or maybe the leg has broken overnight and you don't know. So everything in life is a risk. It's about taking risks. So take that risk. Love is sweet. My mentor likes to say, marriage is sweet depending on the cutlery you use to eat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, take that home. Yes, let's take that home. And again, let's be intentional in what we want. If you want to get to an online dating site, be intentional. What is this that you want? Yes, and now, my good people, let's get to the adventures of Mari. I earlier told you that this lady, she has gone to Zanzibar with a budget of 38,000 Kenya shillings only. So let's get to hear more about adventures of Mari. And here it is. Keep it coming. Yes, adventures of Mari. When did it start?
Adventures of Marie officially started in 2021 September, thereabout.
Okay.
September, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll probably be celebrating 2 years next month.
Oh yeah.
One.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what motivated you to start this?
Long story, but I'll cut it short. So when I finally got pregnant, COVID had happened. And I was in the events industry. Of course, with COVID, a lot of things were disrupted. So at this point now, we couldn't, be hosting events. So money is not coming in. Like there was just a lot that was, interrupted.
Yeah.
So at this time, I have a baby. So I'm leaving my baby. I'm going to chase money that's not coming. So I just sat and I was like, hey, this is getting serious. We can't continue like this. So what I did, I just decided to quit my job. And focus on the baby, and not miss out on, the growth and the milestones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I did that for 4 months. Now remember, I'm coming from being a high-flying career woman to now just staying home with this tiny little baby.
Okay.
And my husband is not there, so it's just me and the baby and the house help. So I remember after 4 months, I got bored of staying in the house. I had watched all the Netflix you can watch. I had done everything that you could do, with your time.
Yes.
So 4 months I got bored, and before I quit my job, I remember for 3 years I had been craving to have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
I had been craving to have a YouTube channel. So after staying home for 4 months and realizing, hey, this brain of mine can get rust because I'm not engaging it, So I said, this is now the time to actually start that YouTube channel that I've been desiring for 3 years. Yeah, so it took me 3 years to make that channel a reality, and in September I actually opened the channel. And I was like, my name is Marion, I like to travel, and everything in life is adventurous. Life is an adventure itself, so why not just call it Adventures of Marie? So instead of Marion, which is long, Adventures of Marion, it's too long. It's like Adventures of Marie sounds short and sweet. Yeah, so that's how Adventures of Marie started. So when I started off the channel, I was doing everything like any other content creator. I was trying food, I was trying cooking, I was trying motherhood, I was trying everything.
Yes.
But the more I went ahead, in shooting the different content, I would realize I was really struggling to pick the camera to shoot, lifestyle content or cooking shows. I mean, cooking videos. But when it was like I'm doing an adventure outside, traveling, I was so confident, I was comfortable, I was not struggling, things were flowing. I was like, I think I want my niche to be travel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're doing very good.
Thank you.
Yes, even in TikTok, you have almost 50k followers, and that's a good.
TikTok is blowing up.
Wow.
I'm impressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. What are some of the maybe? Which is the place that you're visited and you're like, hey, because you have traveled to many places: Rwanda, Uganda, Zanzibar. Like, which is your best place so far?
You'd be surprised. Kenya, Lamu to be specific.
Hey.
Lamu. If you've not been to Lamu, make a point to visit Lamu.
So,
Lamu, just make sure you fly there. Don't go by road, fly. But I promise you, that place, it's underrated. Lamu is underrated. We need more people to market Lamu.
Okay.
Tembea Kenya, focus on Lamu.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, I like that. That Kenya is your favorite.
Yeah, Kenya is my favorite.
Wow, so I am proud to be a Kenyan. I've always been that.
Yes.
Yes. So, Marion, it's been a pleasure to have you here. And can you tell people where to follow you?
So, you can find me like Lynn had said. My name is The Adventures of Marie. That's the YouTube channel. I also go by The Adventures of Marie on TikTok. I also go by The Adventures of Marie on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. And I'm also on Instagram, Adventures of Marie 2021. So you can follow me there for all the tips on budget traveling. Mine is budget, by the way. I don't go showing you the luxury of travel. Me, I show you as a common mwananchi, as a Wanjiko, with the uchumi of Zakayo, we can all travel.
Oh, wow, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you here at Kenya Young Journalist. Your story is just so beautiful, and you have a very, very, very nice smile.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're most welcome. So, my good people, go ahead and let's support Marion. Let's subscribe to her channel, Adventures of Marie, and follow her also on TikTok. And again, if you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly, just this time go and do that, and also click the notification bell. Also, if you have a story and you would love to share with us, email us at our email kenyayoungjournalist@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye. See you in the next one. My name is Lynn Nyawira.